Hello, everybody, and welcome to XPNsion Network, accelerating the consciousness of humanity every single day. And yet again, we are here with the Ask Julius show, that show in which the audience, live and offline, they send us questions that they want to have the Julius and their group of entities answered. And obviously, we have Kasey, Joe, as usual, with us. Hi, Kasey, how are you?
Doing fantastic. It's really great to actually for you to be able to see me this week, transmute all the resistant energy of bringing us forth to everybody, and we have arrived. So it's great to be here.
Absolutely, it's great to be here. Thank you, everybody that is connecting a little bit ahead of time. But today we didn't want to take our chances, so we wanted to start a little bit ahead of time, so that whatever happens. There's I'm noticing a little bit of a delay from your side, Kasey, and actually your image is pixeling a little bit. But anyway, let's continue. If there's something that is disrupted, I will definitely let you know. But here we are, 54 episodes, 54. It's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of weeks. It's a lot of months. It's well over a year. Thank you so much for being with us today. We have so many questions today. We are actually going to start with those questions. And this is the ring. This is the bell that used to call me every single Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that I have to connect to this wonderful show. But right now, today, obviously, we were connected ahead of time. Thank you for everybody who is already here. We see at least Hilda B. Hello, glad to be here. The pleasure is ours, Hilda, so that you know. Deline is also here. Woohoo, exactly. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm. We are also enthusiastic, and I was going to say that I was going to start with the offline questions, but obviously Hilda B. didn't allow me to do it. So let's go for Hilda B. question. Okay, I'm gonna disappear from here, and I'm gonna become a little bit smaller because we want to give Julius and Kasey the whole screen. Okay, so this is Hilda's question. What is the difference between intention and agenda? For example, if someone has the desire that all souls reach high level of consciousness, is that an intention or agenda?
The difference is the way those two things feel to you, Master. So agenda usually has a requirement attached to it. It means that you have an ulterior motive to the request. In other words, that if something does not happen in response to what it is you are asking for, you will know, or there will be some form of ramifications. This is what happens between agreements between human beings. So we will say that agenda and requirement has the energy of judgment attached to it. An intention should be just an open suggestion with possibilities attached to it. With the energy, just a possibility. Whether it takes place or not makes no difference. You are still in joy, you are still whole, you are still sovereign, and you are still fully empowered. When there's an agenda, that means that you generally need or require in return for what it is that you are asking for.
Excellent, nice and easy. Thank you so much for the question, Hilda, and thank you so much, Julius, for the answer. We have here, several of our friends saying hello. We always tell you that there's people connecting from all over this Earthship called Earth, and that's and Mireia is a great example. As you know, every other week we have a show in Spanish on Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in which we bring incredible guests in Spanish language. So if you have Spanish friends, please make sure you know every single Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there's an incredible show happening in Spanish. Okay. And Mireia is the co-host. And obviously, Mireia happens to be here. Great to see you here again, Mireia. It's a pleasure for all of us. She's the co-host of the show. And now also we have here Chantel Svensson. By the way, I see a different picture. Is it myself? But I see a different picture from you today. Obviously, a great picture. Thank you. She's saying love to all. Love to you too. All right. So then we have Sue Dolan. Finally, Sue is connecting, and we know that it's she who is connecting. Thank you, Sue. As you all know, Sue is a great member of the Expand with Julius, Earthship, and she's always on top of everybody else's game, which is, always very, very, very helpful when technical things happen. So thank you so much, Sue, for everything that you do every single day and every single week for us. This is the 54th show. Sue Dolan is asking, hi, Julius, what is a conscious journey about and how does it help people?
Yeah. So a conscious journey, Master, is a journey into self-awareness. So we are going to tell our definition of a conscious journey. Conscious meaning thought or contemplation, forms of awareness. And a conscious journey is being aware of yourself. Why? Because you are all thought. Our definition of source energy, thought possibility. You are physically embodied by your desire to be so that you may know thought or yourself through the demonstration and the experience of the physical. But what you are doing in all of this is becoming aware of yourself forms of possibility. So a conscious journey is about self-awareness. And when you are aware of self, Master, you generally will grow to be in an expanded and an extended state of joy, because what you definitively will become aware of on that self-awareness journey is that you are all sentient beings and you are all energy everywhere. And in doing so, being so, and knowing so, you would only love and treat yourself and every fractalized version of with honor, integrity, love, kindness, compassion, and empathy. And that is an extraordinary state. It is an extraordinary state. And if you take that and you reduce it down to the human version experience that you have chosen yourself to live within, full that way, it leads you to a life of what we want to call expansiveness rather than limitation. When you do not know yourself as source, you live in fear and separation, isolation, and you live in survival mode. And that's really where everybody has the experience of suffering. So going on a conscious journey leads you, Master, as well as all other forms of consciousness, into the higher, most loving aspect of knowing and honoring themselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next question comes from Mireia. As I said before, Mireia is one of these wonderful, here at XPNsion Network, and also someone that has a very interesting spiritual path. And she's asking a great question. Look at her question. She's, by the way, in Spain, in Europe. Okay, so Julius, what do you think about creating free currencies, cooperatives, networks, and communities that function as a parallel economy outside the deep state system? Mm-hmm. I love you, friends.
Mm-hmm. And we love you, Master. Well, we would tell you that it is all free in the sense of it's there. It doesn't even have to be created. All of it is to convince you that it somehow has to be created and that there's a cost involved in that. So really all there is harnessing energy or directing energy. Is a very, very low cost to do that. Just think of Tesla. He was one of that truth force before they killed him for bringing you guys that truth. So we believe that is the way that the Earthship should be running in every situation. The only way that the deep state is going to come down is to be taken down It's not, and that's what we're hoping is taking place right now. When that takes place, they are supposed to allow for freer technologies to support the Earthship, not only in energy sources, masters, but also in technology revealment. It is extraordinary. There's been more money spent to keep you small than there ever would be to unleash you, You are sovereign beings. The Earthship is sovereign, as well as your atmospheric conditions, as well as all of the possibilities for sustainability. So let us for that space. Maria, you are an amazing, amazing soul. We love you and honor you so much. And we know that you do your work as well to bring forth truth and suggestions and magnificence and alignment for everybody's highest frequency. So thank you so much. And for the release of the shackles that has been holding humanity down for far too long.
I second that. Knowing Mireya and co-hosting a show every single or other week right now. So thank you so much, Mireya, for the question. And thank you so much, Julius and Kasey, for the answer. And now let's go. By the way, I'm going to say hello to a few other people. Speaking of worldwide, or speaking of this Earthship, Oshune is actually, she says hello all. She's one of these super mega loyal, beings that are following us for a long time, and she's actually in Asia, so that you know. So again, the same as in Spain. In Spain right now it's 1 a.m. I don't know what time is it in where Shune is, but it must be an interesting time of the day for sure. Thank you for being here, Shune. It's a pleasure. Then also we have Lori Haley, the one and only. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. We are also very happy to have you. Thank you so much. She has this smiley face in which she's always smiling. So she must be a very smiley person. Do you know Lori personally?
I'm sitting in Laurie's living room right now, as a matter of fact. So I do know her very well. And she is the most smiley person you've ever known. That is the truth.
How could I possibly ask this question just today? Obviously, thank you so much, Lori. We love you. And thank you for being here with all of us. And again, before going to another question, let me also say from Stephanie Cruz, happy to be here. The happiness and the joy also comes from us to you. So thank you so much. Oh my goodness, there's so many comments. It's going to be difficult to catch up again. So, and the last comment, which is not a question, let me make sure I mark all the questions, because otherwise I'm going to forget. Let me go up again. Okay. All right. So I have all the questions flagged so I don't forget them. The last comment I wanted to show was from Mireya. Thank you, Julius, Kasey, and Angel. Absolutely. Our pleasure. All right. So let's go up the hill to our question in line, which is from Mama Wales, the one and only. Great to have you here, Mama Wales, and thank you for asking a question. Hi, guys. Does Julius have anything to say about the huge cell phone service outage that happened today, at least in the US, right? I know it's happening in the US with certain carriers. Elon Musk tweeted it was a test. Hopefully, this was for a good purpose. All right, so this is the question, Julius.
Yeah, it is. It's energy fluctuations. There's a conversion that is attempting to take place, as most of you know, as well as broadcasting that is attempting to take. You've got two systems overriding each other. So like, imagine this, okay? Imagine you've signed up for some kind of a service and you've got a family plan, okay? And one of the family members is trying to use the service over here, and the other family member is trying to use the service over here, and you're kind of fighting over here, and sometimes it works. That's what's going on with a lot of your technology and communication right now. You've got the deep state trying to control it, manipulate it over here. You've got the higher versions trying, and they're kind of pulling on each other, trying to see who can get dominant usage. So they're playing that game. So let's call them the higher frequency guys are trying to figure out how to override the low frequency guys from having control over the play, over the airways, over the internet, and things like that. Because as you all know, they're trying to plan a shutdown systems so that they can provide extraordinary information for people. So there's just a tug of war going on. That is true. Also, Elon Musk, as most of you know, or the person pretending to be Elon Musk, is supposedly behind the Starlink system, even though we would tell you, but we believe that this person is just a front man. And the Starlink system has been being tested for several years. They needed to get a good amount of those link systems out into your outer space, universe, galaxies, blah, 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 all those things, to see if they can help override of the frequency matrix. So they're running tests.
Okay, all right. So yes, as I said before, actually you're breaking up. So every certain, I don't know if it's seconds or a minute and a half or something like that, your voice disappears for 2-3 seconds. But anyway, we are able to understand exactly what you say. So, but anyway, just wanted to let you know. We apologize to everybody. As you know, there's always like this, technical things that are happening in the background. And it is what it is. Sometimes the connection is not as or doesn't have the quality that we would expect. But let's go. Thank you, Mama Wills, for the question. Let's go, in this case, for Angel Wings Amanda. Angel Wings Amanda always has questions. Hi, everyone. Mediums I know, that she knows, have been saying that Nibiru is overdue to hit. And when it does, it will take out all the coastlines of all countries and that we should move to higher ground. Is this true?
In your current timeline. So we do not find agreement in those predictions.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the next question. Let's see here. 1 second. Yes, let me say, before I go to the next question, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remind everybody of these wonderful packages that we talked about. I think it was 2 shows ago. There were 2 wonderful coaching packages, very special coaching packages with a really, really careful, thoughtful, intense coaching by Julius to you. And guess what? There are already several members in the audience that have signed up for those coaching packages. So thank you so much for doing so. We really appreciate you. And it's great, obviously, to see that, after, talking about this testimonial that we share with everybody of how wonderful the continued support from Julius and their group of entities had been to that particular lady, that definitely moved, several other people to sign up. So thank you so much again. If you want to know more about those, let me do something I had forgotten to do last program. So want to know more, click on that link, okay? Click on that link. When you click on that link, you will know immediately what those 2 coaching packages are about, okay? So you can do that while the show is playing right now live, or whenever you go back to these outlets, the social media outlets where you are, and you can, again, scan it, and you will know special information about those coaching packages, okay? So, and this actually leads me to say that we have actually something new to announce. Yeah. The same way we had those 2 packages, actually, Julius.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. Julius has spoken. Julius has spoken. What does Julius say, Kasey?
Yeah. So I want to explain something, if I may, for everybody. In the last 60 days or so, I have been blessed in many, many ways. And one of the things that I have been extremely blessed with is of some very heavy energy that I had been carrying for a long time, and that had been around me. And by releasing some of that heavy energy, my gateway and my corridor to Julius has absolutely ramped itself up, and it's been crazy. Like for me to get to a particular energetic state, even after 15 years of being able to bring Julius forth to everybody, this is crazy. So what has happened to me just in the last couple of weeks is I have had clear downloads some of the things that I have done in other lifetimes together. And what I am now able to see is what I am describing as, I got to look because I've been writing and jotting these notes down, are these cryptonic vault-like doors and gates that have kept us trapped in our consciousness. So what Julius has provided for me information-wise is that there are 7 full degrees of consciousness that human beings work their way through to reach their points of ascension. Within each one of those are 7 subcategories before you can break through to the other fields. And those have vault doors. They look cryptic to me. And they've been put upon you by off-planet beings, some of the beings that pose as human beings over millennia, to keep human embodiments trapped in lower levels of consciousness. So when you've been on your conscious journey and you've been fighting, you've been struggling, and you just can't seem to make these breakthroughs, it's because you've got these trap doors, these cryptic vaulted doors around you. So now I am able to get into a theta state, and I can see these gateways around people, and through coding and light language, I can open up these vault doors. So I've been doing this now, this crazy stuff, for the last couple of weeks, and it's crazy. So just did one before we came on the air, doing one after we get off the air tonight. And we're going to be doing a retreat coming up. And this retreat is going to be all around this. So Sue is going to get some information up on the website about this, individual sessions. But mostly they're sold in packages, because what we're finding is everybody, because there's 7 times 7, everybody has at least 49 of these vault doors locked down, encrypted, and almost booby trapped. I have to shift around in my theta scaling, and so those need to be opened, and then other people can create trapdoors for themselves as well. So we're just embarking on this. It's insane, right? But it's super cool. I'm like, wow, this is what I do in other timelines and other lifetimes with Julius, right? This is the newest thing for me, so we're very excited about it.
All right, so thank you so much for sharing. Definitely, we can see the excitement. And if you want to know more, obviously, ask questions, or obviously book some time, private time with Julius through Kasey, or as she says, she's going to be devoting an entire retreat to this. So, definitely, I think that you have to get information about these retreats. And if you live nearby, please make sure that you make it to where it is going to happen. Thank you so much for sharing, Kasey. And we go to the next question that comes from Hilda B. Again, some people are advocating implantation of biotechnological chips into life forms to establish a web of connectivity. Can this technology increase empathy and acceptance of oneness? What are the risks?
Actually, they're going to shut down that with technology. You don't need any of that technology, Master. You are already connected. They've shut that off for you. So that just needs to be stopped, and you are fully connected in unified connectivity. So the chips are a way of keeping you, going to implant you with thoughts. They're going to implant you with separation. You're going to lose all of your sovereignty. You're going to lose all of the usage of your awakened conscious state. Run from that. Masters, nothing needs to be implanted into you. Nothing artificial physical bodies. It does not belong there. It lowers the frequency of the organic levels that your body already naturally has. And stop looking for some kind of a device to awaken your consciousness. Stop it. It is you are source, Masters. You just need to remember that. And nothing artificial is going to assist you in doing that. It will only shut it down permanently for you in this lifetime.
That's fascinating. Speaking of devices, that's a very profound. Profound comment. Thank you so much, Julius. And now Mama Whale was saying, oh, good. That's what I felt. Thank you so much, Kasey, Angel, and Julius. The pleasure is ours, as usual. Thank you for being here, Mama Whales. All right, and now allow me, please, to go up the hill to make sure I have all questions accounted for. And also, Wings Amanda says, I didn't think this. I guess she's saying thanks. All right, no problem. No problem. All right. So exactly. So Amanda, Angel Wings, Amanda saying I didn't think so. Thank you for correcting. And then Stephanie finally is making a comment. Stephanie Cruz. That's awesome. Sign me up. I'm so excited for the retreat, and let's open up all the trapped doors. You bet.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't want to open all the trap doors? My goodness. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Let's go up the hill where all the questions are. And here we go. We go with a question from Ebb and Flow. Question. You have mentioned in the past that Donald Trump was here to help humanity. If that's true, then why did he promote the COVID vaccines and tell everyone to get it?
He did not. That was a lookalike that was doing that promotion for the deep state.
All right, crystal clear. Thank you, Ebb and Flow, for the question. Let's go to the next question from Ebb and Flow as well. Is everyone who got the COVID vaccine going to experience health declines, or is there a chance that some will not be affected by it?
Well, we can't answer that for each individual sovereign being, Masters. What we can tell you is there is a stacking system for vaccines, a stacking system. So there are some people who do not have a history of vaccine usage that got the COVID vaccine, maybe because of their workspace, maybe because they were in the military, maybe got 1 or 2 shots. And if that is the case, then their body may have the ability, all of those things out of their body, detox the body, clear the body, get the parasites out, get the metal particles out. But a lot of people stack their vaccines. So a good portion of people who were convinced to take the COVID vaccines were all to take vaccines in general. And so for that stacking system, it's not a good result. It just isn't. So that's basically what we will say. There were variations, and there are variations of those vaccines. Some were designed to attack certain aspects of your DNA. That's what, those companies that do all your genetic research, send your stuff in and we're going to give you your genetic research. All they're doing, that's a bunch of malarkey. They're finding out what your DNA composition is so they can create you to activate all your illnesses and your chronic conditions and things like that, because the pharmaceutical company makes all that money off of you, and so do mortuaries and things like that. So it's all quite a corrupt system. We're not sure if we answered your question completely, but again, if somebody is not prone to stacking their vaccines, then they may have a chance to clear those vaccines out. But if in doing that, they have to actively pursue clearing those vaccines out. Otherwise, there will be short-term as well as long-term ramifications from them.
Excellent. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm going to be branching out a little bit from your answer, Julius, with your permission and Kasey's permission. There's an incredible cardiovascular, super duper, important person here in Dallas, actually, that since the very beginning, he actually published a book about the K-19. And he suffered in his own skin all sorts of attacks from every single side. And he has actually a protocol. That's why when you spoke about this, if everybody's going to be suffering from that particular thing, I want everybody that wants to know a protocol, I would, recommend that you look at Peter A. McCullough. Okay.
Great.
Peter A. McCullough. He's literally, when you read his the number of papers he published throughout his life, and he was one of the few that opened his eyes in 2020 and said, this is not normal. That shouldn't be happening. Please look at this gentleman, right? Look at this gentleman because he has a protocol in place for anybody that would like to follow something more earthy, let's say, from this dimension where we live today. All right, so this is just a note.
Great.
And thank you so much. Also, Greg, I would say Nyman.
Yes.
Greg Nyman Jr. says, sign me up as well. All right. So point taken, Greg. Thank you so much. I don't remember if I ever saw a comment from Greg. Greg, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. Feel free to ask a question. Okay. So then exactly, Stephanie Cruz already made the comment. So I'm going to go all the way up before I lose my questions. 1 second, please. Really, we have a lot of questions. Kasey, hold on. All right, so I think that the next question is this one from actually your neighbor, Lori. Hi, Julius. Can you please explain the creative process and how we came to be in this physical form? Thank you, Lori.
Yes. So this is an amazing thing, because masters, before we tell you the creative process, we want to explain to you that it is the manifestation process. So creation process, manifestation process. So in what you would perceive to be the beginning, though there is no time, so we could say points of moments of now, there was a vastness that existed without anything inside of it materialistically, commonly known as the vastness of thought. We would describe this as purity, for everything comes from thought, masters. Everything comes from thought. So this is authentically who you are and who everything is. It is a vastness of energy that moves so quickly, it cannot be measured. All thought possibility, all thought possibility. And for thought to know itself in a demonstration of all that it can be, it slowed its vibration down to what we would perceive to be known as contemplation, or pause of thought, where you hold a thought and you feel out of thought. That continued to slow the vibration down, and light particles were launched. That's you as a light being, masters. As light beings, you became souls or sentient beings, and you became the emotional processor of yourself or thought. So thought. You existed for an enormous amount of time as light fragments, dancing among yourselves, intermingling with yourselves, and finding such joy and bliss in finally having some form of validation of something that you are. You continued that process, slowed your vibration down, your energy divided, became polarized version of positive and negative ions coming back together and intermingling, creating gastric movement. When this took place, particles of matched, and then with the continuing thought vibration of focus and intention, you coagulated points of matter into shapes and configurations. So masters, you have created everything physical, all galaxies, all realms, all dimensions, so that you may know yourselves as in different versions of itself. So that is what we call the creative process, or the quintessential manifestation process, where you go through all of those levels when you're doing any form of manifestation, taking thought, feeling a particular way about it, which gives it rocket fuel to demonstrate itself as a possibility. And that is what you are.
That was a pretty profound explanation and detailed, by the way. So thank you so much for that. Let's go to the next question. It's actually coming from Emily McMaster. But actually, the question is about the phone outages that are happening across the U.S. So we already asked that question. If you don't mind, Emily, we already answered that question. If you can, if you weren't here, I think that you were already here. I think that when you asked the question, when you posted the question, I think we were already answering the previous member of the audience. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question that comes from Ebb and Flow. Question: we've heard other channelers talk about an upcoming major event that will change humanity path for the better. Is there any truth to this?
Well, we're not sure what they are talking about as an event. We are going to describe it as a series of events and changes and shift. We would support that. If they allow those things to take place, it certainly will provide humanity an extraordinary opportunity to be released from being enslaved and imprisoned. So we do agree that these occurrences are taking place. They already are taking. As far as it being one big bang event, we do not see that they are doing that. We have already had consultations with the beings, off-planet beings and earthly beings that are doing these things, and they have decided to reduce the impact release of these things to a little bit more of a drip feed system for you. But the great thing is, Masters, is that revealment has already started. There has been a massive shift of energy within the matrices as humanity has decided to finally start to renounce the programming that has been so deep upon you. What has taken place is that the high frequency and the low frequencies are definitively showing themselves with more clarity, where there used to be kind of a gray area where a lot of the nefarious and low frequency energies could hide and deceive people and do a whole lot of damage, and that gray area is going away. So clear revealment is taking place. So what's going to take place, or what is happening, is those that reside in a high frequency, love-based, high intention, unity consciousness and empathy and compassion field are going to be living basically kind of together and in a reality. And then the low nefarious guys can all chew each other up and eat each other up and do whatever the hell they want to do, or excuse us. We're going to let the high frequency people do what the heaven they want to do. We'll let the low frequency people do what the hell they want to do, because it is a state of frequency, and that is taking place.
Super duper. Thank you so much, Julius. All right. So let's go to the next question that comes from Ushune. We were talking about her before. Thank you so much for being here. Julius, you've always said that source does not need to repeat itself. So what are lookalikes all about? I think you said that we each have 6 others looking like us somewhere in the world. Is there any connection? Why are there lookalikes?
Basically, because you share thought, Master. So humanity is programmed not to get into true creativity and inspiration. You're all programmed in likened energy frequency thought, and you tend to mimic and you tend to utilize the same ideas over and over and over and over again. And so when you are designing your costumes, you have a fondness for a particular design. So you, again, does not mean that those beings or those souls are going to act the same or experience the same. It's kind of like, how many different ways can Vera Wang design a wedding dress, right? Like, how many different ways? So it's kind of like the same thing with a human embodiment. There's only so many, but it's also because you're pre-programmed with limited thought. But it's all good, Masters. It's all good. Just know that you are not your costume. You are not your costume. It is a vehicle for you to experience thought and emotion in a third dimensional. You are a soul. You do not have a soul. You are a soul, and you have a body.
Excellent. Let's go to the next question from Ebb and Flow. The question from Ebb and Flow is, I've read that our presidential elections in the USA have been rigged ever since they started using electronic machines to count the votes. Is this true? Do our votes matter anymore or not?
Your elections have been rigged always. Always. Some presidents have been able to beat the rigged system and step into alignment. So some, very few, but some of them have not been selected. So you don't have an election, you have a selection is generally what takes place. And it has always been that way.
Fair enough. We have a question from Tanya Brush now. Thank you, Ebb and Flow. Tanya Brush, what's the difference between oscillation and frequency?
So oscillation is the demonstration of a frequency, Master. So it is the rotation and inversion and shifting and intermingling of vibrations. Looks like an atomic field. And it creates an omnigalactic quantum field in the center of it, used for teletransportation, used for healing, and used for particle colliding to either collapse time frames or create them. Could also be used to create wormholes, also accessing gateway points from dark black galaxies into white galaxies.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question. It comes from Sony. Hey, Sony, how are you? Sony Dean. Hi, Julius. I do not believe in this death of Navalny. Oh, Navalny is this Russian guy, right? I think it's a Russian guy. What do you say about it? Thank you.
Well, we're not sure exactly what you're asking us. We would say that death, period. That's the ultimate truth. There is simply transition from different forms of frequency. So death is a complete illusion. If you are asking us about the person pretending to be that person and whether their removal was staged or not, we will support that yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Next question, again from Angel Wings Amanda. Is the Starlink system 5G?
No, it is not. It is 9G.
All right. All right. Only ask the questions that you're ready to listen to the answer for, okay? Just saying. Tanya Brush, is there a color to the 11th gate?
But we're not sure what you're speaking of when you speak of the 11th gate, Master. We're not sure if you're speaking of an actual configured type of a vault gateway and whether it holds a color configuration or not. We would say that depends on whose gateway you are looking at, for you all have these dimensional gates all around you. If you are asking us about the 11th dimension and whether it has colorations in it, we would say it absolutely does.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question. Ebb and Flow. Hold on a second. All right, here it is. I've seen numerous orbs flying around my house and on our security cameras and baby monitors.
Nice.
Can you please tell me what these orbs are?
Yeah, generally they're spirits and souls floating around in your... We tell everybody there is no empty space around you. There is no empty space around you. It is packed with interdimensional beings, portals, gateways, timelines. It's packed, okay? Occasionally, these will vibrate, so or spirits can, or interdimensional beings, or what we can call circumstantial beings, will occasionally shift their vibration and momentarily or nanotarily, so just in nano moments, be able to show a flickering of light in the third dimensional aspect. So the camera lens on your cameras are different than the ocular cavity inside of your eye. The cone-shaped ocular cavity inside of your eye generally cannot pick up on these because it is designed to pick up on third dimensional aspects only. But cameras, when flashes, they can grab interdimensional beings.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ebb and Flow, for this new question. Let's go to the next one coming from Sony. Sony Dean. Julius, I am curious. How do we see us when you talk to someone? What do you tune into? The energy, the light, the consciousness?
Your soul, Master. We would say we see your soul covered up in an altered ego. We know who you are authentically, and we strive with the highest and authentic and in alignment aspect of you. But that is not always how it conveys, and it isn't always anything that ultimately shifts the altered ego into alignment. We see you as source. We see you as magnificence. We see you as truth. We see you as possibility. We see you as expansiveness, and we love what we see.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the question. I'm now going to post that. That's a beautiful, beautiful comment here from Sony. Thanks. I always love how you describe creativity. I agree totally. And that we created all. At this moment, I'm so grateful we created all the fruits on the planet. That's a very nice comment. Thank you so much. Sony, as usual, let's go to the question that is the next in line, which is Ursula Baker. And her question is, I think that this question, no, that's never been asked. We've received a lot of questions about Taylor Swift, but this one is different. Is Taylor Swift a clone of Zena Levy or Lavi?
Both of them are constructed. So Zena neither is who you believe Taylor Swift to be. So usually when people speak of clones, they usually speak of a clone produced from an organic, so a synthetic from an organic, but we would support that both of them were synthetic.
All right. Next question from Ebb and Flow. I've heard that a large number of people have incarnated during this time to bring the vibration of humanity up and spread light around the planet. Is this true? What is our real purpose here on Earth?
Your purpose on Earth, Master, is to know yourself as source. That is a truth. Some get distracted, some stay on point and in focus. We wouldn't say that there's any larger number of you incarnating now than any other time. You are all source beings. They're all coming forth here in the vibrational currents that have a little more memory and haven't undergone the complete blind, dark, amnesic state that commonly has been created for you and has occurred. And yes, they have come to assist in the conversion of the energy dominance field here on the Earthship, which can help release the frequencies that bind you so severely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question, which is, hold on a second. Let me see. I have an issue here. Give me a second, please. I would like, you know what? Let me ask you again, because there's something I have to fix here. Sorry about that. If you wouldn't mind talking about, this new retreat that you're going to do, yes. I would really appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah. So we do saturation weekends with we've done them for the last couple of years, every few months, where you come in and you get 2 full days of teachings from Julius and activations from Julius and processes and sound baths and all kinds of cool things. And we usually pick a particular topic or subject that Julius on, and you can catch a bunch of that information on the website. But again, we were planning our next weekend with Julius, and we thought we had a subject all picked out and we're ready to go, and not so much. So with the help of some of my other incredible practitioner friends, operationally help activate me when I'm around them. You know how it is with everybody hanging out with their tribe, right? This craziness has come through, and with clarity, this is what this next saturation is going to be. So we think what's going to happen is we're going to do a group application. So I know that I can see these gateways can see it through Zoom, so I can do these things virtually and certainly in person. Steph, by the way, that's what we're going to be doing with you this weekend on yours. But we're going to put this in a group setting, and we're going to attempt to open at least 3 gateways for everybody. So the first 3 primary gateways or vaults, again, for the first 3 levels of consciousness. That's what we're going to attempt to do. And so this should be very cool, very intense. I never have any idea what Julius is going to talk to everybody about. I'm sure it's going to be related to this subject matter. And of course, what you guys can all forth from this It's going to be amazing, to say the least. I know that. I'm already been set to the task of preparing my energy field and what I need to do for myself to get myself ready and activated to do this. So it's going to be up here in the Salt Lake area. I'm in Salt Lake area, Utah, right? And that we are going to be having that event here. In fact, we're checking out a facility tomorrow. And so we're going to get those dates posted just as quickly as we can, so you can get online, get signed up, because you're going to need your airline tickets. You're going to need your hotel to stay in and get you going. This is going to be the coolest thing you've ever done for yourself on your conscious journey, is to open up some of these vaults. It's going to be very intense. And the people that attend these saturations or these weekends with Julius are the most amazing. So you're going to have a support system like you've never had before. No matter what you're used to using as your practices, no matter, the whoever you've been following or things like that, doesn't matter. You still have these vaults around you. We're going to do some super cool code work. I am ready.
Awesome.
I am ready. And it's going to be very exciting and very fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I was checking, basically what I was doing, I was checking on the comments because I saw Sony Dean saying, "Hey, Angel, could you please ask my questions too?" So this is what's happening. So let me explain you a little bit the technicality of the show, right? So the show goes out, depending on the day, anywhere between 6 to 12, 13, 15 different social media outlets, okay? So the thing is, I'm reading the questions in the order that I received them individually in all the different social media outlets, but on my screen they actually merge, and they merge according to the time in which they were posted on every single social media outlet. So it's not that I forgot your questions or anybody else's question. It's just that there were a lot of questions from other outlets that you might not see online. Okay, so that's the only reason. So I know that you understand why sometimes it might take a few or some time to ask your question, but that's the reason why it takes sometimes. It looks like I've forgotten you, but I have not forgotten you. Thank you for keeping us on our toes. Thank you, Sony says afterwards. What is 9G? Hold on. There's so many questions. Actually, we only have time for one more question. Let me go up. It's amazing, the energy of the show. It's just incredible, Kasey. It's just amazing. All right, so the question comes from Emily McMaster. Why does engaging in negative thought cycles feel so seductive? As they say on Star Wars, the dark side is seductive and can feel so hard to let go of.
Yeah.
And is there a trick for letting go of these thoughts when it feels so tempting to keep them? That's so true. Emily, that's so true.
Yeah. So the negative thoughts, masters, are all related to the illusion itself. And the illusion provides what we want to call surface or false pleasures, temporary pleasures. Okay. Money, lust, eating things, gorging yourself up with drugs. These are all very surface and physical pleasures that are never, ever provide satisfaction, fulfillment, and joy for the soul. It's all altered ego related. All of it is keep your altered ego engaged. So of course, all these other things are in alignment with you. So your altered ego is low frequency, and all of the negative energies are low frequency as well. So they connect, they work together. Once you break free from state and raise your vibration, the negative thoughts and the temporary physical pleasures no longer resonate with you. You go for the much higher vibrational thoughts, the higher experiences, the deeply connective, authentic, truthful, full of integrity, full of honor, full of with people, because that is the treat for your soul. That's what your soul is doing. That's what expands the soul. That's what brings wisdom to the soul. The temporary things are what are of the negativity turn into addictions. They turn into addictions and satisfy those things. high frequency engagements, truths, and experiences satisfy the soul and help to propel you into expansiveness, where the negativity keeps you locked in repetition and can actually retract you along on your journey. So it's all about physical pleasures. You have to be willing to get yourself up into the higher energetic fields. But you know what, Masters? That would take you loving yourself. That would take you believing yourself that you are more than a physical being. And you will get there eventually. But the cool thing is that's in control. You are the one that's in the power of that. It does take discipline. It takes focus and commitment, but the rewards are immeasurable, Masters, because anytime you have one tiny moment of pure, full fulfillment and joy, you'll become addicted to that, and you will grow to love and know yourself as the all.
Awesome. All right. So now I am back to the original size. So we are the same size right now, Kasey. Okay, so that means that we're about to say goodbye, or actually not goodbye. So see you next week. As for some others, obviously you are going to see them through those following days or in these following days, because you're going to have sessions, one-on-one sessions. For the ones that sign up for your coaching packages, obviously you have like a super intensive, treatment yourself and obviously Julius and their group of entities. And as you have explained extensively, and thank you for the patience, what's going to happen. And I'm really glad that you were able to expand on what's going to happen in that retreat, because you actually gave many more details than you had given before. So everything happens for a reason. And as I always say, timing is always divine. Timing is always divine. Okay, so I'm going to end the show now. We're going to end the show now. As you know, there's this QR code at the top left corner. Scan it to know more about the packaging, about the personal coaching packages with Julius. All right, those 2 coaching packages that we've talked about so many times already. Okay, go to this upper left corner of the screen and scan it with your phone, and then it will take you to the place in the website of expandwithjulius.com. If you have questions that you couldn't ask, please send them to support@expandwithjulius.com. And Kasey, thank you so much. By the way, beautiful background. We thank Lori for this beautiful background and this tiny giraffe that you have over there that looks so awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It is always such a pleasure and joy to be here with everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning and supporting us. We love you, and we can't wait to see you next time.
Absolutely. And now here we are going to go to the outro video with the latest comments, and we're going to be also overlaying all the different comments that are left on the chat, which are all of them beautiful. You rock too, Sony, by the way. Okay, so bye-bye. See you next week. Remember, every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Ask Julius Show. Next week, it's going to be the 55th Ask Julius Show, okay? See you soon. Bye-bye.